Hello and welcome to another Reuseum educational build tutorial. Today we are going to be building a Arduino Bluetooth robot. Step 1 is going to be ensuring you have all your parts, and you should have the following. In addition to the parts inside of your kit, you shall also require a pair of pliers and a Phillips head screwdriver. A bottom plate that looks like this, plate A. A center plate, plate B. Top plate as plate C. You should also have two of these pieces, which we will call the side plates. Two of these pieces, which we shall call the face plates. You will have two of these pieces, which we will call the motor plates. You should also have these two pieces, which we shall call the back plate and the wheel plate. You should also have, in addition to that, one small wheel and the wheel well for it, two motors for your large wheels, and the two large wheels to go with them. You will have 4 long and 4 short hexagonal screws. You will have 6 nuts. You'll also have the following screws: 4 short-sized screws, 2 medium-sized screws, and 4 extremely long screws. You will also have a battery holder, which should have a charger on it. And you will also have 2 lithium-ion batteries. For the circuitry components, you will have one of these power supplies with a button on it. You will have one motor controller. You will have one Bluetooth module. You will have your Arduino Nano. You will have a servo motor with accessories to go with it. 3 zip ties. You'll have your speaker. Once you've ensured you have all your pieces, you'll want to take a small object and punch out all the holes in your plastic pieces. Moving on to the wheel, you'll want to put a screw through each of the holes in the wheel motor, and then screw each of those screws into one of the wheel plates, which we described to you earlier and you can see in the video. And then you'll want to just tighten a nut onto each of those. You want to make sure that both of your motors are facing different directions so that they work properly. Some pieces may be fragile, so be careful when putting them in. You may want someone else's help when you're putting pieces onto your robot, as they can be very difficult to get in. You'll next want to take your wheel well and run a screw through the back hole in the wheel plate. Then attach a nut so it's on loosely and can freely turn. You will then locate your back piece and you will run a screw through there and use a nut and your pliers to very tightly screw it together so that the back plate does not wiggle. Once you've done this, find your 4 long hexagonal screws and screw them into the bottom plate, or plate A. Once you've screwed in those long hexagonal screws, find plate B, your central plate, and then you'll just attach your motors and your back plate to the central plate. And then you'll use your short hexagonal screws to attach your central plate to the bottom plate tightly. You'll want to make sure that you run your battery wires and the wires of your motors through the back hole of that central plate to make sure that you can use them in the circuitry. When connecting your batteries, make sure that you know which end is positive and which is negative. The negative end should have a completely flat plate, while the other one should have a little bump sticking out of it. Attach the flat plate to the spring, and the bumped plate to the flat end of your battery holders. If you plug them in the wrong way, it can be very dangerous. If your batteries are plugged in the wrong way, make sure that you have your screwdriver ready to try and take them out as quickly as possible, as it can fry your circuitry. For the circuitry components, you will have 10 female-to-female wires. You should have 2 long male-to-female wires, and 5 female-to-female wires. You should have your power supply, motor controller, Bluetooth module, Arduino Nano, your servo motor with its parts. Use 2 female-to-female wires to attach the VTN pin of your Arduino Nano to the back row of your power supply. Now take 4 more female-to-female wires to connect the RxD pin of your Bluetooth module to the TX1 pin of your Arduino. Connect the TXD pin of your Bluetooth module to the RX0 pin of your Arduino. Then attach the ground pin to the front row of your power supply, and then connect the VCC pin of the Bluetooth module to the back row of your power supply. Then find your motor controller, and with the green bits facing away from you, left to right, you will connect the left pin to D12 on your Arduino, the next to D11 on your Arduino, the next to the back row of your power supply, the next to the front row of your power supply, the next one to D9, and then the next one to D8 on the Arduino. Attach 3 male-to-female wires to the end of your servo motor. Then, looking at the wires on your servo motor, you should connect the orange wire to the D5 pin of your Arduino, the red wire to the back row of your power supply, and the brown wire to the front row of. You will then find your speaker and connect the white wire to the back row of your power supply, and then the black wire of your speaker to D6 pin on your Arduino. Find your motor controller, and with the green bit facing away from you, take the left wire of your motors and connect the brown wire to the far left, the blue wire of that motor to the center left, then take the blue wire from your right motor and attach it to the center right, and then take the brown wire and attach it to the far right of your motor controller. Then use your screwdriver to screw it in tightly. Then on the power supply, take the black wire of your battery pack and screw that into the left hole of the power supply, and then do the same for the red wire in the right opening. When uploading code to your Arduino, make sure your settings are set to upload to an Arduino Nano on the old bootloader, and that you are correctly uploading to the correct port. It should detect your Arduino when you plug it in, but you may have to change which port you're checking when you're uploading. Make sure you copy the code correctly from your provided packet. When you're uploading code to your Arduino, make sure to unplug your Bluetooth module, as this will interfere with uploading if it's plugged in. It's easier if you don't have any wheels attached when you're screwing everything together. Once you've done that, attach your side and face plates to your robot, and then screw on the top. You may have some trouble getting all the wires together in there. Once you do, it should be easy to screw it in from there. To make sure your power is wired correctly, once your battery is in, press the button on your power supply, and all the lights on your component should turn on. If some component is heating up, or the lights on it aren't turning on, try looking at the circuitry. Make sure there aren't any issues. Hello, today we're going to learn how to connect your Bluetooth robot to a Bluetooth controller app. The app we will be connecting to in our tutorial is the Bluetooth controller app by MyValley. First, begin by pulling down the top tab of your phone and clicking and holding on the Bluetooth button. This will take you into a separate menu. If your robot is on, you should see a connection called BTO4-A. Simply click on this connection and type in the password, which should be 1234. After pairing it with your phone, go into your Bluetooth Arduino app of choice, connect your robot to it. Open up the menus and look for settings for your buttons. In ours, it's in the top right corner. Configure your buttons so that you have W, A, S, and D for forward, left, backward, and to the right, respectively, and then any other settings you may think you need, using the cases on the code that you have programmed into it. Once you've connected and configured the controls, you should be ready to go. Give your robot a spin.